Class 10, your history class. Today we'll be starting a new chapter, chapter 12, Rise of Dictatorships, Fascism in Italy and Nazism in Germany. So, after the First World War, the economy and the political condition was unsettled. So the First World War was fought to make world safe for democracy. The First World War was fought to make the world safe for democracy. But the unsettled economic and political conditions paved the way to dictatorships. In Italy, in October 1922, in 1923, Italy became under Benito Mussolini a fully fascist country. In Germany, the dictatorial movement was led by Adolf Hitler. Nazi Party came to power in 1933. Nazi was a short form of National Socialist Party. Nazism had much in common with fascism. So, after the First World War, fascism and Nazism, they came into practice, you can say. Fascism was in Italy and Nazism was in Germany. What is fascism? The word fascism is derived from the word fasces, which is an Italian language, which means bundle of rods. A bundle of rods with an axe in the middle was carried by officers attending the ancient Roman consuls or dictators. The axe symbolized state authority. What did the axe symbolize? It symbolized state authority. And the bundle of rods meant that in unity lay strength. Fascism thus signifies unity, strength, and authority. The fascist regime tolerates no opposition. They did not tolerate any opposition from anybody. It is a one-party system. Basically, it is a one-party, one-man, one-party system controlled by a personal dictator. One man will be the dictator. Fascism was an intensely nationalistic, anti-communistic, and anti-democratic movement. So it was anti-nationalist, anti-communist, and anti-democratic movement. The fascists believed in having a powerful dictator holding power both total in character and unlimited in time. So their power was total in character, total power. And it was limitless power as far as time was concerned. So this was fascism. But what was Nazism? Fascism served as a model to dictatorial regimes in other countries. So it was a model. It was a model for dictatorship, especially the Nazi movement in Germany. The Nazi Party was an abbreviated form of National Socialist Party. So it was a short form of National Socialist Party. In fact, it was far removed from being socialist movement. It was not a socialist movement at all. Nazism was also an anti-democratic movement, but the core of Nazi ideology was racialism. The core was racialism. The Germans considered themselves the descendants of a great race, and they thought that they are the most superior race in the world. Nazism was also anti-democratic, and the core was racialism. Therefore, Nazism could be best defined as fascism plus racialism. The dictatorship of fascism was there and racialism combined. The Nazi Party depicted the German as a master race that was destined to rule the world. Okay. The Jews, on the other hand, were seen as fundamentally an even evil force. So, according to the Nazis, the Jews were the evil force, and obviously, as we all know, the Nazis massacred the Jews and killed a lot of Jews. The Nazi regime, established in 1933, was totally dictatorial in character. Complete and absolute authority was held by Hitler, who embarked upon a program of militarization and expansionism, which resulted in the Second World War. So he was extremely, Nazism was a cause of the Second World War. Basically, Hitler's militarization and expansionism. These were the two main causes. So, what were the causes for the rise of fascism and Nazism? Dictatorial regimes in Italy and Germany arose due to various factors. Dissatisfaction with the peace treaties. Italy joined the war on the side of the Allies. Among Italians, the feeling was that they had won the war but lost the peace. Italy had much to contribute to the success of Allies in the war, but Italy could have no valuable addition to the country. Although Italy was in the winning side and it contributed in the winning of the First World War, but she did not get any valuable addition to her territory. When it came to dividing the spoils of war, her allies deserted her. So the allies left her while they were distributing the outcome of the war, and they were, adding to their territories. Italy was left out. So far as Germany was concerned, defeat in the war, Italy won and Germany lost, as you all know. In the Treaty of Versailles, made the German feel ashamed and helpless. German was forced to give away. Cede means give away. Large chunks of her territory to France, Belgium, Poland, and Denmark. Her overseas possessions, overseas lands and countries and territories and colonies were divided among themselves by allies. They were divided by Britain, France, Belgium, and South Africa. The total strength of German army was fixed to 1 lakh, which was a cause of a great sense of insecurity among the German people. So, the causes of fascism and Nazism, as far as dissatisfaction with the peace treaties were concerned, were totally different from that of Italy and that of Germany. Now comes the economic factor. Economic condition in Italy after the war were very bad. War debts and budget deficits caused a lot of difficulty. So there was a lot of difficulty in the economy. The salaried employees and farmers and the industrial workers felt the pinch of post-war inflation. The young men found all channels of employment closed to them. So the young people, the young crowd were unemployed. All doors of employments were closed. There were agrarian riots and strikes in the factories. There was riots in the factories and strikes. Germany had to pay a huge sum of war indemnity, war fine. The financial crisis forced Germany to borrow recklessly. So they started borrowing from wherever and which country they could. German economy combined a high rate of inflation with a high level of unemployment. It was owing to this factor the Nazi party had its ranks swollen by new recruits, especially youths. So that is why when the Nazi party was formed, it was full of young and the youth. Then inefficient and corrupt democratic governments. The post-war democratic government were weak. The democratic government after the war were weak. They could not respond properly to the needs and aspirations of the people. The governments under Nitti and Giolitti in Italy were unable to control the industrial and agrarian disorders. In Germany, the Constituent Assembly, which met at Weimar in 1919, established a liberal democratic government. But from the very beginning, Germany was faced with a problem of unstable governments. In Germany, there were unstable governments. Between 1919 to 1933, there were as many as 21 ministers headed by 21 chancellors. Chancellors in Germany were they are equivalent to the prime minister. Whenever we say the German chancellor, we say the German prime minister. We mean the German prime minister. So from 1919 to 1933, there were 21 ministries headed by 12 chancellors. The people therefore were looking for a strong government for a firmer economic program. You came across the word industrial disorders and agrarian crisis. This agrarian means relating to farmers, relating to cultivation, agrarian. So it might be a new word to you, but it is a very common English word, agrarian. Agrarian disorder. Once it is there, industrial and agrarian disorder, and another is when we have found somewhere in economic factors we have found this agrarian and industrial. Industrial means related to industry and agrarian means related to cultivation of lands and farming. Rise of totalitarian ideologies. The philosophy of Hegel, a German philosopher, had flourished in Italy for years before fascism was thought of. His philosophy had a great intellectual depth, but his pupils used Hegelian arguments to justify authoritarian regime. Although Hegel, the philosopher, he did not profess total authoritarian government, but the followers of Hegelian principles argued and justified total authoritarian government. In fact, irrational and anti-intellectual thoughts of Alfred Rocco and Italian nationalists had got the upper hand now. It appealed to the masses because it glorified power or sheer force. So, what happened was people wanted a strong government. Whether it is dictatorship or not, that is immaterial. They wanted a strong person who will build a strong government. In Russia, after the revolution of 1917, the government had been using terror to enforce obedience. Political power in Russia was now monopolized by one political party. Dictatorial ideas or principles appealed to masses in Italy and Germany also. Now comes class conflicts, that is industrialists' supports. Very important. Many writers are in the opinion that fascists and Nazi parties were supported mainly by industrialists, big businessmen and landlords. Why? Because they did not want communism to enter there. The economy was in crisis and the workers were agitating or protesting against for high wages and better conditions of work. Italy seemed to be heading towards a communist revolution. So the industrialists view this growing strength of labor and union with alarm. They did not want it. So the only way to stop it is to support fascists, is to support the Nazis, to pay for the party. So it is said that financial support for fascism came largely from moneyed class who wished to suppress the workers and their movements. And lastly was charismatic leaders, charming leaders. The leaders were very charming. Mussolini and Hitler were able to attract, influence, and inspire people with their personal qualities. In Italy, Mussolini was called Deus, which means leader. The German adored Hitler and as the savior, and he was given the designation of Führer. Führer means the leader. So today, in chapter 12, we have got an idea of what is fascism, we have got an idea of what is Nazism, and we have discussed the causes for the rise of Nazism and fascism. In the next class, we will start how Mussolini formed the government in October 1922. That is all for today. Thank you.